Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends. It's your buddy Boogeyman Ben here for another episode of Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone, and this is going to be a horror movie review. This is a movie that I watched probably about a month ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. It's been a while, and I've always meant to do a review about this because it stars one of my favorite underrated actors, someone that I've appreciated in films going back to like the late 90s. The movie is called 1922. It is a Netflix original movie. It is the fourth Stephen King adaptation that we have gotten this year. It is the second to be a Netflix exclusive because we had Gerald's Game and then this one came out. And it stars one of my favorite actors, somebody that I don't think gets enough credit, and I'm really excited that he's going to be in the next Predator movie, but Thomas Jane. This is based on a Stephen King short story. It's a short story that I haven't read. I have every Stephen King book pretty much, but I haven't read every one of Stephen King's books. And I'm really anxious to read this because a lot of his short stories are really turned into fantastic movies because there's so much more interpretations you can go with the material. When you have a gigantic novel like some of his books are, like Needful Things or Tommy Knockers or things like that, you know, it's hard to sort of digest that into a short time frame of a film. But if you have a short story, I think there's a lot more that directors and screenwriters can play with, and I think that it just works a little bit easier when you're sort of taking something that's in a shorter format and adapting it for the screen. Just to give you a little, just a breakdown of who the cast is. So you have Thomas Jane as Wilfred James, you have Molly Parker as Arlette James, and then you have Dylan Schmid as Henry James. This movie was written, the screenplay was of course adapted from Stephen King's short story, but the screenplay was done and the movie was directed by Zach Hilditch. And pretty much what the story deals with, of course, it's set in 1922. It deals with a farmer who conspires to murder his wife for financial gain. And during this whole planning, he starts to pull in his teenage son to assist him in doing so. This film was really, really great. I actually really loved it. It's a very slow burn film. But again, I felt like the film rests on the performance by Thomas Jane, who plays a very different character than I've seen him do in the past. He's played eccentric characters before. He's played really, down-to-earth characters before. It's the third Stephen King adaptation he's done. He did Dreamcatcher, he did The Mist, and then he did this one. And he's just such an underappreciated actor. I've always loved him. He does a great job in this film, like I said, playing a very different character. But I love the themes of this film. The themes of this film deal with guilt. And what if you commit a horrendous act? Even if the person that you're committing the horrendous act to isn't that great of a person, the guilt is almost like overwhelming. And that's pretty much what the film deals with. It deals with the setting up, the execution, and then living with, the repercussions of what you've done. And it's almost like this act that happens destroys a family. And it's really, really well done. You just see the inner turmoil and how it changes the characters and the conflicts that they're going through. And I just really thought it was well done. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I really did love the performances in it. If I had to have a negative for it, the one negative I'd have to give for it is Molly Parker's performance as Arlette. I think it was the thing for me, and again, I haven't read the short story, but it was hard to sort of sympathize with her character when I felt like she was such a harsh and cruel character, and I had a hard time with her. But aside from that, I thought the execution of this was really well done for a small budget, which I'm sure they had, and it really felt like it could have been set in the 1920s. Again, Thomas Jane's performance is what really sells the film. He is such a fantastic actor, and I really hope that I see him in more. I hope he does more Stephen King adaptations. And all three that he's done, he's been fantastic. Easily, this film gets 4.5 skulls. That is my review of 1922. I'm curious if anybody else has seen the film. If you have seen the film, please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Would love to hear from everyone. And as always, thanks so much for watching Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace.